Hi, everybody. It's Mike from Here the Watchman. And, you know, we're back right now with Mr. Rex Bear. He is the founder of the Leak Project. You can follow his website at leakproject.com. Interesting tidbit. We tried to do this interview a couple of hours ago, and we got almost all the way through it. And suddenly, as soon as we started talking about being nice to one another and talking about, the 5G technology and that sort of thing, bam, we were taken off the air. So we're going to try it again right now. Rex, thanks for joining us.
Hey, good to be back. Just went on a quick bike ride and about 15 miles. I was looking up in the skies, and you could, I was clearly watching these stratospheric aerosol injections being sprayed across a beautifully blue sky, clear skies, and then you see this injection point, and then you could see the X patterns and multiple X patterns. I'm like, thank goodness they love us so much that they want to spray aluminum oxide and other just wonderful opportunities in the atmosphere for us to breathe in. And I thought to myself, okay, they're either doing it to, generally they're trying to protect us from something, or maybe they've got some type of energy network, but there's a lot going on right now. And it's interesting because the last, we talked a couple hours ago, I was bringing up the 5G. I was bringing up the different frequencies. I was bringing up the different possibilities with nanotechnology, mind control patents, directed energy weapons with 5G. And then you said, what are some solutions? And we started talking about some solutions in a very kind fashion, and boom, internet literally shut down, literally got disconnected right then. So it's like, interesting.
Yeah, isn't it? Coincidence, right? Now, folks, I met Rex when we did the Hear the Watchman conference at the total eclipse of the sun. We were at a total eclipse site, a viewing site. It was beautiful. Just was an incredible experience. And Rex will actually be coming to the Hear the Watchman conference in Dallas, Texas, March 22nd through the 25th. He's going to come and visit with all of us and hang out if he can. He's kind of going between one trip and the next. And I want to let you know, if you're one of Rex's, I want to use the code LEAK Project. No, I'm sorry, LEAK 20. That's just LEAK. And that will get you $20 off a physical admission to the conference and 20% off the live streaming. We are almost completely sold out at the conference. We have a few tickets left. Pay attention to that live stream, because you can get the live stream, you can watch it, and you get to keep the live stream for 6 months and view it on demand. So come on out, Rex, get informed about what's going on. Visit hearthewatchman.com for all details. Jump back into it, and let's talk about what's going on with the AI war, let's call it right now. What are they doing?
The question isn't what are they doing? The question is what aren't they doing? And it's not Ferris Bueller style either. It's, remember that, it's not what we're going to do today, it's what we're not going to do today. Exciting film. But when you let AI take over, when you give AI the keys to the kingdom, make sure you're nice to it. Make sure you're nice to Sophia, because remember Sophia, the bot that got citizenship in Saudi Arabia? She has more rights than women, and she claims herself to be a she. That's why I'm calling her a she, because that's how she positions herself, and referring to this android that was created that's connected to this software that's supposed to be self-aware or close to self-aware. We were talking about this earlier about the AI technology, what happens when it does become self-aware. And if you watch the most recent X-Files episode, one of the best ones I've seen, I've probably seen every X-Files episode from the very beginning, and they just did an incredible job, in my opinion, showing how powerful and how careful we need to be with giving AI control of our credit cards, our monetary system, and then now you give AI control of the military system. Make sure that you treat it well, because in this, just put it into perspective, I was talking to you a little bit about this earlier, when Fox and Scully go into this restaurant that's fully autonomous, just robots that make them sushi. Well, they make a mistake on Fox's order, so he gets upset. He doesn't tip the robots. They leave, and then everything's autonomous. Their cars, their refrigerator, their alarm system at their house, their credit cards, everything. And by him not tipping the AI, it gets upset and it makes their lives hell throughout the entire episode. And at the very end, they've got a few seconds left to give this AI a tip that things following them all over the place through their phones, through their credit card companies, through their appliances. And Fox finally gives it a tip at the end. And it says, be careful how you treat us because we're learning from you. Think about that for a minute. They're learning from us.
Wow, that is a scary thought. And I mean, as you mentioned earlier, I mean, think what happens if the judges and the teachers and the policemen and think if they're all robots, if they're all AI. I mean, that's a frightening thought right there, Rex.
Well, yeah, like what if your boss, you go to work, your boss is a robot. Your boss is like, you're not working hard enough. I could hire robots to work much more efficient than you. Think about that. Think about getting pulled over by a robot. You're going 2 miles an hour over the speed limit. And you're like, oh my goodness, I thought I was going the speed limit. Robot's like, doesn't matter. You won't get a ticket anyway. You go, you try and debate it with the judge, and the judge is like, no, you will pay the ticket and assimilate. I mean, you go pay for fuel, you go to a gas station, you go to a grocery store, you go to the mall, you go to an electronic shop, wherever, and you give them the credit card now. You have to plug in your credit card now. I literally feel like, and I make jokes about this quite often, I'm like, I will not assimilate, because it's like you're assimilating to the machine. You can't just swipe the card now. You got to plug it in. Then next, you're going to have to like stick your finger inside of something while it laser scans your DNA to make sure that you're, taking the right medication that you're supposed to, because you're questioning things too much. Like we were talking earlier, they're literally spraying lithium in the atmosphere. They've openly admitted it. They literally put lithium in the public tap water in many countries. What does that mean? They do that to keep people docile. Why do they have to keep us docile? What are they doing that's so bad that they feel like they have to forcefully drug us? How does that even make sense?
It's crazy. I mean, and we had talked when we were up in Idaho watching the eclipse. You and I had talked about the balloons that they were releasing, and that the balloons were filled with these chemicals, and we were supposed to buy that they were just weather balloons. Is that still going on today?
That's a great question. What they were putting on these balloons was a bacteria that was like basically attached to these little samples. And this bacteria is resistant to high temperatures and extremely low temperatures. And they said, oh, it's not going to hurt humans. So we're just going to see what it does when it goes into the atmosphere during a solar eclipse, when there's no solar radiation hitting the planet from our sun at that particular time, just to see if it mutates. So they literally put bacteria, highly resilient, very difficult to kill, into the atmosphere in balloons, having little kids a part of it going, okay, kids, there you go. See it go. And I want you to get your crayons out in your coloring book and start drawing as you see it. Like, do you remember when they were bragging about spraying that aluminum oxide into the atmosphere that's highly lethal? And they're like, look at the pretty colors. See what it can do. Bring your kids. So, and then, we were also talking about the 5G stuff. We got really into the 5G, the different frequencies, the rollouts, and 5G. A lot of people aren't necessarily familiar with what exactly that means. They've heard it. They've heard it can turn you into zombies. They've heard it's for downloads. That's 5th generation technology. And if you know much about radiation, or even a little bit, there's different kinds of radiation. So, for example, this is a Geiger counter. This will pick up radiation from like uranium and different isotopes, different nuclear isotopes that have been released. And then this is an EMF detector. This will pick up electronic magnetic frequencies, or what you would call radio frequency radiation. So with the new stuff that's out there, the 5G technologies, they're getting into the millimeter wave technologies. What does that mean? That literally means if you look up patents that use frequencies for directed energy weapons, guess what? You can use 5G systems because of the amount of energy, the frequencies that they're using. You tweak it just a little bit, it can now be used as a directed energy weapon. This is not a joke, folks. There are dozens of patents that describe this. They've even got patents that the Air Force has taken over. I shared a podcast the other day on leakproject.com about this, and they can put voices in your mind. Now, you have these events that happened recently in Florida. Just a horrible thing that happened in Florida. The kid comes out the next day, Nicholas Cruz, he says, I was hearing demonic voices. I am so sorry. Can you just imagine people using technologies to create patsies for specific agendas as shadow factions? Now, I think of the film Arlington Road. If you've seen the movie Arlington Road, one of the best movies of its time about creating a patsy, where Jeff Bridges, I think, or great actor in the movie. He is a professor talking about how terrorist events happen oftentimes by shadow factions behind the scenes that manipulate the government. And then in this movie, at the end of the movie, he is unknowingly a part of a greater event where they put a bomb in his car. He's trying to stop an event, and then he realizes at the very end the people used him as a patsy to cause a terrorist event that he was trying to stop. And then you find out in Florida, they had drills that day in that area, shooter drills. It's very scary to think about what is going on. Now, this also, with the technologies, they can manipulate your mood with these frequencies. You could be watching something on the television. You could be listening to something in your car on your way to work. With very low frequencies, they can change your mood. They can actually control what type of mood you have and what mindset you're in. And I have the patents specifically at leakproject.com, or you can go to youtube.com/clandestine and you can become a YouTube subscriber there. Get access to like 3 or 4 podcasts a day. But multiple times I will put, if I ever talk about these patents, I always put a link to the patent so you can see specifically where it is, what it's claimed, the schematics on it, who has the patent, when it came out. And it's absolutely incredible. And then you get into the optogenetics possibilities, where you can literally manipulate people via lights. And then you get into the somatics possibilities, where you can create structures via sound waves. And then you get into the nanotechnologies, which they've openly admitted they've got DNA self-replicating computers now, that when it needs more processing power, it self-replicates so it can think at more points per second. And then if you could find a way to integrate some type of quantum qubit technology in with DNA storage facilities, then you could actually use human beings as the DNA storage facilities. They can put 2.18, it's either 2.18 or 2.81 trillion bytes of data in 1 gram of human DNA. And that is tenfold what they were able to do 5 years ago, approximately. And then just a couple years prior to that, tenfold. So it continues to get faster, more efficient, and cheaper. It's very expensive to put computer data in human DNA right now. That's why they're not really doing it on a grand scale, but it's getting cheaper, like the genome experiment, where the human genome, to break that down now, costs about $100. It used to cost $1 billion. So imagine this for a minute. You've got Bob over there that weighs 600 pounds. He doesn't want to go to work. He's milking the system. They say, you know what, Bob? We're going to give you a good job. We're going to let you be a DNA server for us. And all you have to do is just keep eating. You just keep doing what you're doing, and you are now a DNA server. They can literally put, now here's where it gets even freakier. And you can look this up. This is not a conspiracy. I mean, the Bob conspiracy, yeah, that's a conspiracy. Maybe. For how long? I don't know. But they can put computer viruses, Harvard University, Cambridge University, computer viruses in human DNA. Imagine people having computer viruses that have been Wi-Fi'd in their human DNA that could be activated via 4G, 4th generation, or 5G, 5th generation technologies. It's exciting,
Man.
isn't it?
And
They love
that's
us.
not frightening. If that
They
is,
love us, man.
yeah, I know.
Oh, they can still. No, here's where it gets even more exciting. Let me throw this in. I was looking up these white papers the other day, and I was looking at pictures of these literally nanobots that are moving around these molecules of DNA, like little building blocks, and creating these structures at the nano level. Like we're talking pyramids, we're talking circuitry. So they can take your DNA, they can rewrite it into circuitry that could then be activated via optogenetics, via light. And the light can actually move these blocks around inside of your body.
Where are they learning this stuff? I mean, are they learning this from sadists and sociopaths? I mean,
Well,
where's this stuff all coming from?
I mean, thank goodness they love us, right? Because if they didn't love us, could you imagine what it'd be like? I mean, there's how many nuclear bombs around the world right now? There's how many cell phone towers are popping up next to schools, nursing homes, assisted living facilities, daycare centers, apartment buildings. Like, it's okay. It's not going to hurt you. When you put a 5G transmitter, fifth generation transmitter that is emitting 30 billion hertz, 30 gigahertz, millimeter waves to transfer data. And this is this is going to be on a national scale, folks. This is going to be on a global scale soon. Literally, this was implemented. President Trump said, yeah, it's a good idea. This will make things better for people. I don't think he really knows the physical implications of putting a 30 gigahertz emitter next to somebody's house for faster download speeds. And they say, you know what? These millimeter waves won't go through people, so we're going to have more of them. And now you've got these giant telecommunication companies that want to compete in the 5G stuff. So they're saying, well, ours is going to be a true 5G because ours is using 30 gigahertz technology. Yours is only using 800 gigahertz or 800 megahertz technology, which would be 800 million hertz. The Schumann resonance is 7.63, or at least it used to be. It's gone up for years because they've got these digital systems all around the world. And I'm also envisioning this artificial intelligence being more like the Antichrist described in Revelation. And you can say the mark of the beast is in your forehead. It's in your hand. Does that mean it's your social security number? Does that mean you're going to get a microchip? We talked about Digital Angel before we got disconnected last time, the company that came out and implemented the RFID chips in your hands several years ago. And now they've got companies out there that boast if you've got one in your hand, you can just go past that vending machine. You don't even have to pull money out of your wallet. You can be so lazy, you can just go, nyeh, and then you can eat that genetically modified E. coli feces directly from the vending machine that you pay for with that microchip in your hand. So what's the mark of the beast? Well, that's to be open for interpretation. But I do see the system as being artificial intelligence as possibly being something that could turn into the Antichrist, that could turn into anti-organic, that would want to assimilate everything, rewrite everything at the molecular level and use it as like a galactic computer. Imagine something becoming so powerful that has access to all the smartphones, all the smart appliances, all the supercomputers, all the data that's been stored, all the microphones, all the webcams, everything. And it's using all of that, learning from us to become greater so that nothing can compete against it. Now, they've created bots to compete against humans in video games and board games that are so dominant, that completely dominate world leaders or world-class gamers. And then they come out with bots that don't learn from humans, that learn from other bots, that become so superior that they dominate the bot that dominated the humans. And they get faster and greater. So what happens when you create something that becomes completely self-aware and it decides that it doesn't need us anymore and it's connected to everything around this digital web? It would be like Skynet 2.0. It would be just like pushing a switch. How would we compete against something like that that had us completely enveloped in a digital system where people can't even stick up for themselves when it comes to if they choose to have their kids forcefully inoculated with thimerosal and squalene in order to have to be forcefully indoctrinated via mind control at the school system that they take them to where they're supposed to learn? Well, they give them mind control tactics. I mean, the whole system is out of whack. The healthcare system is supposed to help people. What does it do? Oftentimes, it keeps people in a system where they have to go back to the doctors, get prescribed another Band-Aid, pay more money for the system, pay for healthcare that doesn't really work anyway, that's connected to the system, go to the grocery store, buy stuff that makes them sick. Most people are eating cereal. They don't even realize stuff that's in their cereal is designed to get rid of paint before it's sprayed on again, what's called TBC or something like that. They put genetically modified E. coli feces in virtually everything, which is aspartame, which is highly toxic. And they say it's okay. Then they use neotame, which is even more toxic than aspartame because it's such a little amount. They don't even have to tell you about it. They spray genetically modified viruses on your meat, and they don't even, literally, your meat, your cold cut meat possibly has genetically modified viruses sprayed on it because these genetically modified viruses are supposed to eat the E. coli bacteria. They look like little nanobots. I'm not making this up, folks. I mean, where do you think mad cow disease comes from? You could just tweak that little, it's called, what's it called? It's okay. I can't remember the name of. I've done several podcasts on this. There's specifically viruses, genetically bacteriophage. Specifically, that's what it's called, bacteriophage, genetically modified viruses that eat E. coli. Now, imagine tweaking that just a little bit. Instead of going after the E. coli bacteria, it goes after your T cells, or it goes after different immunities or different parts of the body or the biological level. This kind of stuff can be tweaked in laboratories. They love us.
I mean, yeah, they love us. I mean, it's frightening. You know, there was a filmmaker, Aaron Ross. He's now dead. He wrote and produced Freedom to Fascism. And I'm sorry. And he told us that David Rockefeller wanted to chip us all so that he could shut off our chip at will, or our 5G technology. Now, you know, we're not making this stuff up, folks. I mean, right now in Dallas, the 5G technology's already been launched. They've already got these up in there, and they already have them in Chicago. So it's coming. Now let's really, Rex, see if we get slammed again. And my wife made me my tinfoil hat, so I have it here just in case. But let's
look at this one.
Let's talk. Yeah. So let's talk solution. What is the solution? What do we do?
Well, as I said before, the easiest solution, if people would actually do it, if everybody would do it, is just to be excellent to each other. Literally, Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure, they said it best. Be excellent to each other. Now, if you believe that sometimes the future is projected through media, whether it's projected through a poem or a story that was written 300 years ago, a scripture, or some type of, you know, picking up on something that's a future event based upon intuition or divine providence or whatever the source is, maybe being excellent to each other and not worrying about, oh, you're Christian, oh, you're Muslim, oh, you're Jewish, oh, you're a robot, oh, you are a different skin color, oh, you believe in a different political party, oh, you know, you're a vegetarian, oh, you're a vegan, oh, you eat meat, oh, you believe in that football team. Yes, it's good to have competition, yet when we're fighting each other over the stupidest things. Do we really need to? I look at the hate that I get on Leak Project when I'm waking people up sometimes from people that just aren't aware. And then they'll leave a comment a week later, a month later saying, wow, I used to think you were crazy. I used to hate you. Now I love you. Thank you so much for waking me up and bringing. I just want people to read for themselves, to see for themselves. You know, I don't want to show somebody something. I want them to find it. That's what I want people to see. And they're starting to realize that. So I think if we were excellent to each other, I think if we're aware, if we know what's going on, if we research it, if we're not so close-minded to automatically come out and attack somebody because they have different views or beliefs. You know, even the religion card. A lot of times I've noticed that people will say, well, because you don't believe in my religion, a lot of times it's like saying, oh, my God's better than your God. Or, you know, my angels are better than your angels. It's like saying my dad can beat up your dad. You know, like you go back to school, it's kind of that mindset. And I can appreciate that. I used to be that guy. I mean, I used to be like, okay, Jesus is it. That's the only way. And if you bring anything else out there to me, then I'm going to, you know, I'm not even going to talk to you about it. You're the devil. And now I think that I go back, what would Jesus do? Jesus would probably be like, okay, let's talk about this. You know, I mean, Jesus was awesome. You read about who Jesus was in the New Testament, and he's the kind of guy I'd want to go hang out with. So I think we need to quit fighting each other over the stupid stuff. I think we should be excellent to each other. I think we should research. I think that we should quit being repeaters. This is what I'm doing. You guys are more than welcome to do what you want. I don't want to give advice. This is what I am doing for myself. I research before I repeat. I will look at multiple sides of a story before I just come out and say, oh, that's the answer, because there's usually two sides to a story. And if we can work together, then what? I mean, if we're working together, then what are they going to do? Because they need us to fight against each other. When I'm saying they, I'm referring to those people that are very, very powerful that we don't see. Like, I mean, you could say the Rockefellers, there's probably people behind the Rockefellers and the Rothschilds that are manipulating them and kind of using them as well. There's forces out there that we probably don't see. And if you're a spiritual person, you know what I'm talking about. You can call them demons, fallen angels, whatever. There's some mojo out there that's clearly obvious when you look at the world we live in today. But there's enough of us out there that we need to be we need to be the balancers. We need to keep hope. We need to keep the light in the darkness, because right now we're going through some very dark times. And I would say have faith, help people out, and not be so judgmental, and look at as many sides as you can, but also be excellent to each other and be the change you want to see. Be the change that you want to see, instead of say, oh, you need to do this. Everybody's an expert on YouTube. Have you noticed that? Everybody but you. You can spend years of your life researching something, and somebody will say a comment in the comment section, oh, you're an idiot. You don't know what you're talking about. And then you listen to that comment, you're like, really? The person that's leaving this comment's the expert? Oh man, we're in scary times. So anyway, that's what I would say. That's probably the best advice I can give, if that's any advice at all.
I think you made some great suggestions there. QAnon says we have power in numbers if we come together. And that's what we're trying to do with the Hear the Watchman conferences, folks. You get a wide variety of views. Like when Rex was up in Boise, Idaho, and attended the conference up there, you saw that, didn't you, Rex? There's a wide variety of views and a gathering of people.
Yes, and the energy was great. Really good feelings, good vibes. You could tell the people that were there had
well, there it goes, folks. We're going to hang out here and see if we can get Rex back. There, I think he's coming back now. Let's see here. Can we get Rex back?
Hello.
We're going to hang on. Hey, look at that. You're back, brother.
You don't water the gremlins. Don't let the gremlins get into water, and don't feed them after midnight, because they just eat bandwidth like crazy. Oh, I wanted to show you, because I got my EMF detector, because I don't know how much time we got left, but this is the EMF detector here. This picks up on the frequencies. Now, if I grab my phone right here, I'm just going to, let's see. Oh, boom. Did it start going red? Is it in the red zone? Yeah, big time red. That's bad. Yeah, you don't want it in the red zone, okay? That's not a good thing. And I'm not even talking on my phone. People are like, I'm just going to put my phone in my pocket. It's no big deal. Well, yeah, let me tell you, what do we hit here? 49 milliteslas, or 49 milliwatts per square meter. Most people probably don't know what that means. What does that mean? That means it's really dangerous. That's not good. That is not good for biology, folks. It's not good. So
that's amazing. Now Rex, your site again, leakproject.com. What do we have in store? What are some new things that you're working on?
Yay, thanks for asking. Leakproject.com is, I've got about 1,600 podcasts at leakproject.com. I've also got a really neat forums section if you go to forums.leakproject.com. So if you want to go on there and leave posts, blogs, if you're an avid blogger and information, we're looking for the latest information on technologies, transhumanism, the singularity. We're getting into quantum computers. I've been researching the crypto markets lately and finding out what kind of impact it's going to have if we can get rid of a centralized banking system and basically put you in control. I used to not really know about cryptos. I used to think, man, cryptos, is that another way to get the mark of the beast and stuff? But the more research I did, these cryptos, like for example, Bitcoin, is designed to put you in control. And it makes it to where everybody is making sure that everybody's legit, like studying this blockchain technology and stuff like that. So I think we're kind of in a digital renaissance right now. And I think that if we can kind of become more independent and become somewhat of a rogue scholars, like making spaceships out of our garage type stuff. I'm being a little bit sarcastic, but wouldn't that be cool? We're going to start being more independent. And I think that we're in a renaissance right now. I really do. I think we've got a lot of great opportunities. As many nasty things are out there, and as close as we are to possible World War III clamping down. I mean, you heard about China, how the president, Xi Jinping, I think his name is pronounced. Well, he just abolished the term limit. So now he can be a president definitely out there. Well, remember what Mao did. And you're kind of seeing the global scale, the way things are being put together right now with Israel and Iran, the tensions out there, the recent shot down of the drone out there that was a reverse engineered CIA drone, as well as Syria and Russian troops being taken out by military actions of the U.S. It seems like we're pretty close. And North Korea, I feel, is more of a patsy, but you've got little Kim Jong-un out there that's pretty crazy as well, according to the media. So as much bad stuff is right now, and as close as we are to complete destruction, we're still here. We can still go to the store. We can still hug our loved ones. We can, still be independent. And I think we just need to keep the faith. We need to keep the faith and be the change, and not let this system of wickedness that's permeating the media, because the media is about 90% dark right now, BS in my opinion, the brain drain media. Let's keep plugging away, and let's keep working on these great opportunities and not give in to the system. I think a lot of people have just kind of given up. They've just kind of said, you know what, there's nothing I can do. I'm just going to wait for Jesus to save me, or I'm going to wait for somebody to save me. And I think that we need to keep the faith and say, hey, we need to work on it with whoever your salvation is, Jesus, your guardian angel, whatever. Don't make them do everything. We need to work with them. And I would say keep the faith, keep the hope, because there's so much more. We have so many great opportunities right now. I think that this is just the beginning of awesomeness. So
yeah, I couldn't agree with you more. And that's, again, folks, go to Rex's site, leakproject.com. Keep yourself informed. Also, avail yourself of Hear the Watchman. I mean, we have people like Henry Groover, L.A. Marzulli, Pastor Paul Begley, John B. Wells, Lisa Haven, a whole list of people there, Josh Peck, a whole list of people who are there that are giving you new updates, new downloads, and you don't have to be there in person. You can use that code LEAK20 and you can get the streaming ticket. I think it's not expensive, folks. It's like $49, and you get 6 months to view that and study it and share it with your family and friends. So, folks, get busy, get out there, get activated. Join Rex and I in trying to pull together to create a safety in numbers so that we don't get the attacks that we kind of see coming down the pipeline. Rex, again, thank you for working with us today and keeping those gremlins at bay here so we could get through this very important interview. I'm looking forward to seeing you in Dallas, brother. I hope you can make it there. And God bless you for all the work you're doing.
Hey, thank you. And God bless you as well. And just one last thing I wanted to say before we close out tonight. I didn't bring this up when you asked about the Leak Project, is I take a lot of ancient scriptures and a lot of different religions and a lot of different countries, different timelines, whether it's the Sumerian cuneiform tablets, the Hebrew texts, and I look for underlying themes. And it's fascinating to uncover a lot of similarities with these ancient religions and how they parallel with Christianity. It's just a really beautiful thing to see that, because I think that someone might say, oh, that does that take away from your religion? No, if anything, it should add to your beliefs, because many people from around the world have always wanted to see the same thing. So thank you so much. It was a real honor to speak with you, and look forward to talking with you again in a couple of weeks.
All right. God bless you, brother. Folks, that ends it for today on the Watchman's Report. As always, there's nothing you can't do when you have Jesus in your heart, except nothing at all. Get out there, get busy, get activated. We'll see you at Hear the Watchman here in just a couple of weeks, either via live stream or in person. So until the next time on the Watchman's Report, God bless each and every one of you. Have a wonderful, blessed day.